the United States economy has always been at the heart of global discussions. It is the largest economy in the world, a model that influences markets, trade, and financial systems across the globe. Every decision made in Washington, D.C. echoes not only in American households but also in the international community. Under President Joe Biden, the debate has intensified. Supporters praise his policies as necessary investments for the future, while critics argue that his administration has driven the economy into crisis. In this video, we will examine both sides of the story and try to answer the question, has Joe Biden's government ruined the U.S. economy? When Joe Biden entered office in January 2021, the United States was still recovering from the devastating effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Millions had lost jobs, small businesses were collapsing, and the global supply chain was in chaos. The Biden administration's first major move was the American Rescue Plan, a $1.9 trillion stimulus package designed to provide direct relief to families, extend unemployment benefits, and support state governments. While this plan injected cash into the economy and helped struggling households, many economists argue that it also fueled inflation by overstimulating demand at a time when supply chains were weak. By 2022, Americans were facing the highest inflation in 4 decades, peaking at over 9%. Gas prices soared, groceries became more expensive, and rent continued to climb. For millions of families, the cost of living reached unbearable levels. Critics of Biden's policies quickly pointed to government overspending as the main reason behind this crisis. They argued that instead of stabilizing the economy, the administration overheated it with too much money flowing into circulation. Another concern has been the national debt. The United States now carries a debt burden of more than $34 trillion, an amount that continues to grow. Opponents warn that reckless spending on infrastructure, climate change programs, and social initiatives could weaken America's long-term financial stability. They believe future generations will pay the price for decisions being made today. Energy policy has also been a flashpoint. Biden's cancellation of projects such as the Keystone XL pipeline and his strong push for renewable energy were welcomed by environmentalists but criticized by conservatives and many in the oil industry. In 2022, when global oil markets were destabilized by the war in Ukraine, Americans felt the pain at the pump. Gasoline prices surged, sometimes hitting record highs. For critics, this was proof that the administration had undermined U.S. energy independence. However, Biden's supporters tell a different story. They argue that despite the challenges, the U.S. economy is far stronger today than it was when he took office. One of the most significant achievements has been job growth. Since 2021, the United States has added more than 15 million jobs. Unemployment has remained at historically low levels, averaging around 3.5 to 3.8%. For millions of workers, opportunities have returned, and wages have risen. The stock market, although volatile, has shown resilience. By 2024, the S&P 500 had reached new record highs, boosting retirement accounts and investor confidence. Corporate profits rebounded, and new investments flowed into technology, energy, and manufacturing sectors. Supporters also highlight long-term investments in infrastructure and innovation. The Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act is rebuilding America's roads, bridges, and broadband networks. Meanwhile, the CHIPS and Science Act is designed to bring semiconductor production back to U.S. soil, reducing dependence on foreign supply chains and strengthening national security. These policies, they argue, are not about short-term gains but about positioning the United States for long-term global competitiveness, especially in the race against China. On inflation, supporters note that the crisis was not unique to the United States. Across Europe, Asia, and Africa, countries experienced the same surge in prices due to disrupted supply chains and the Russia-Ukraine conflict. By mid-2024, inflation in the U.S. had fallen below 3%, a sign that Federal Reserve actions combined with Biden administration policies were helping stabilize the economy. Still, the American people remain divided. For households struggling with rising rent, high food costs, and expensive healthcare, it feels like the economy is not working in their favor. For investors, job seekers, and businesses benefiting from government incentives, the picture looks more optimistic. The reality lies somewhere in between. The economy has shown both resilience and weakness. It has grown, but at a cost. The question then becomes, what matters most to Americans when they evaluate economic success? Is it the strength of the stock market, the unemployment rate, and the long-term investments being made? Or is it the price of gas, groceries, and housing that people feel every day? As the next election approaches, this debate will dominate political campaigns. Joe Biden's administration will highlight job creation, infrastructure progress, and inflation control as proof of success. His opponents will emphasize debt, high living costs, and energy struggles as evidence of failure. So, has Joe Biden's government ruined the U.S. economy? The answer depends on perspective. For some, the pain of high prices and debt cannot be ignored. For others, the strength of the labor market and the bold vision for America's future signal progress. What is certain is that the U.S. economy remains a complex and evolving story. It is not ruined, but neither is it problem-free. The final judgment rests not with economists or politicians, but with the American people. In the end, they will decide whether Joe Biden has harmed or helped the nation's economic future. Thank you for watching. If you found this analysis useful, please share your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe Biden has improved the U.S. economy, or has he made it worse? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more in-depth discussions on global issues.
We do not scare easily. We never bow. We never bend. We never break. We endure. We overcome. And we always move forward. We are America, second to none. And we own the finish line. Don't forget it.